Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me now? Sorry, I think we've had a problem with the audio. Great. Okay. I'm I will just recommence. Sorry. I'm just going over a little bit of information, just a bit of a recap. What I was actually saying was that Mr. Chip Chase, Ms. Black, Patricia Devine and her husband Robert and myself were invited to Singapore last year. We were asked to have a look and assess the opportunity with this company, WCI. We were invited by a gentleman named Mr. Rock, and we were very, very impressed with what we saw, and hence we've got involved. It's been 7 or 8 months now. There's lots of things happening. Mr. Rock is now, in fact, at that point he was the compliance director. He's now the general manager, the CEO and president of the company, and is doing an extraordinary job. He has a huge background in compliance and is very well respected and known for that. Just by way of background, again, most people are aware of this, but again, for anyone that's new, WCI, or World Cryptocurrency International, was incorporated in February of last year. It's incorporated in Philadelphia in Pennsylvania in the United States of America. It really didn't start business until May of last year, and in that 8 months up to the end of the year, up to the end of 2017, turned over $180 million US, which is pretty significant in anyone's language. The goal for WCI is to turn over $1 billion by the end of 2020, and we are now operating, I can assure you, in more than 30 countries, and that is growing. And right at the moment, there is a plan in place to expand over the next 6 months, and we're going to hear a little bit more about that over the next few weeks. So the registered office is, as I've mentioned, is in Philadelphia. However, very, very soon it's going to be moving to Singapore, and the rationale behind that is essentially because Singapore is probably more central to where the majority of the business is going to be coming from. That is throughout Asia and Australasia, which includes us, and it's also very still, like a hop step and a jump, if you like, to Europe and back to North America. Just recently, WCX incorporated, and I should just explain, and again, I apologize if you've heard this before, but it's important to really understand this. The holding company is a company called World Cryptocurrency Exchange Incorporated. That's the incorporated body that actually is the parent body, if you like. It owns a company called World Cryptocurrency International, which is effectively the marketing arm of the business. And it also has its own trading platform called World Cryptocurrency Exchange. However, just recently, WCX Incorporated / WCI bought the majority shareholding in a company called Blockration, which is based out of Bangalore in India. Now, I've just come back from India last week. I again was fortunate to spend some time with some of the directors of Blockration, and they are quite exceptional young people, or people in general, and what they've got going and what's happening at them with regards to how what they're doing and how it fits in with what we are as far as WCI is quite amazing. It really does point the picture of where we are heading in the longer term. But I've got to say, and you need to understand this, in India, for instance, Blockration doesn't necessarily go by that name. It goes by MSS Payments. Because they've got a number of businesses. They've also got a card, a MasterCard called Cashier Card. That's CASHIER, Cashier Card. And that's a very well-known card in India. It's a debit card. And it's through that entity that recently they've sponsored the Kings 11 PJ or Punjab Indian cricket team in the Indian Premier League, which is a very, very successful team. And in fact, whilst I was in India, they had the final of the IPL, and every everywhere you went, no matter what room you went into, whether it was a restaurant or a cafe or wherever you went, the cricket was on. So when they say that Indians love their cricket, well, they certainly do. So it actually augurs well for us because our company is getting associated with high quality sport, high quality business, and has a high presence, which is really encouraging for us. So just as a snapshot, if you like, you need to think about this, and this presentation is being recorded. Just understand that WCI is set to become a global leader in cryptocurrency, mobile money, and digital fiat financial services, which will all be on the blockchain. Now, that encompasses a lot because the digital, first of all, fiat is our government-backed legal tender. So whether you're talking Australian dollars, euro, US dollars, Indian rupee, it doesn't matter. That's government-backed legal tender. And the services that we will be offering very, very soon will allow for the interchangeability between fiat and cryptocurrency. So if you can imagine, if you're standing in the playground like we were when we were at school, and you've got two puddles there, two small puddles within reach, leg reach, you've got 1 foot in one puddle and 1 foot in the other puddle. It's like having 1 foot in cryptocurrency and 1 foot in fiat. And you know what? Sometimes you can put both feet into one puddle, and sometimes you can put both feet into the other puddle. And that's a very simple analogy because there's much more to it, but essentially what it means is we will be able to interchangeably access and use fiat money and cryptocurrency. So in short, WCI is a multi-function money services platform. That's a very, very broad term, but that's what we are, and that is what's happening right now, where with the purchase of Blockration, WCI is integrating Blockration and all its digital payment services and platforms into what we have right now. And as members, as we know, we go to our back office and we see all sorts of bits and pieces. We see some spelling errors. We see some frustrations with different bits and pieces, but essentially we see a business that's working. We're getting our daily rewards every day. Now that is all being fully integrated into Blockration. The website will change, and the trading platform will also be fully integrated. This is all linked into an ecosystem which is being developed, and I'll come back to that in a moment. So as we stand right now, in fact, they're nearly completed. The WCI is having printed 20,000 WCI Mastercards, which will be our own card, and you'll be able to, as a WCI member, be able to get one of these. You can have one either physically. That's one that you can put in your wallet or your purse or your back pocket or hand to your kids, whatever you want to do with it. But there'll also be the opportunity for a virtual Mastercard, which you can have on your mobile phone. Now, you might recall the slide back here, sorry, this one here, where I mentioned mobile money. That's a clue. That's a clue with where we're going. So understand that, mobile money. And that is huge for when you understand what's going on with trends in business around the world and with where this business is going. Okay, that's, I apologise if it's a bit poor, but I've loaded up. This is a sample WCI card. Please understand they are not out like this at the moment, so don't ask where they are and when can you get them. But this is a sample card. I was able to get a hold of one whilst I was in India, and where it says customer name, it can have your name, and it is simply a MasterCard. And you can see that, although it's not real clear, that's the MasterCard symbol down here, and you will be able to load money, fiat money, cryptocurrency on and off this card. You will be able to go shopping with it, go to an ATM, in any country where this is able. So most countries, where, in fact, as I understand it, any country that you go to, you'll be able to, for instance, pull out, I'm just picking a country here, Canadian dollars, if you like, and it's loaded up as cryptocurrency. So that is not, they're being printed now. I've got to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, the first number of these will be going to our friends in Vietnam, because there is a need for those people to get the card immediately, as they've been unable to access commissions. Not that the company hasn't been paying, the commissions have been paid, but because of laws there in Vietnam, so this will overcome that. We're certainly a company that does not want to be doing the wrong thing by any country's regulations, and so most of them will be going there initially, but very quickly we will be able to access them. So hopefully that'll be very, very soon. Right, I just quickly wanted to again reference, and some of you may have already seen this. There's a 17-page document that came out that's just essentially a summary of block creation and what we're doing, and WCI. Now, that's just the first page that comes up. What I'm just now showing, thanks to Mike Chipchase, Mike's loaded up the document, because it's a very, very big file. He's loaded up the document to put onto his website, which that is the website there. So if you'd like to take that down, take that website if you haven't got a copy of it, and then go, type that into your browser and actually load up that document. Now, most people, in fact, not most people, some people are going to read it, and maybe it's something that they read before they go to bed and it gets them to sleep quick. It's the sort of thing I read and I can't sleep, because once you really understand what's going on, you see that we're part of a huge picture. And Mr. Rock has indicated to me that what we're reading is only just a touch, it's at the tip of the iceberg, if you like, with what's coming. So, WCI trading platform and WCX coin. The trading platform, which is operating right now, which you can go to, is www.wcx.io. You can create an account. You can buy Bitcoin. I think there's about 20 or so different coins on there, including our own WCX coin. Although most of it, our WCX coin at the moment is in escrow. And I certainly wouldn't suggest that you be trying to sell coins, WCX coins at the moment. However, the WCX trading platform is still not fully integrated with our site. So that is still going on. This whole full integration with block creation may take another 2 to 3 months. So just bear with it, but you've got to understand that the compliance behind this, in fact, in that 17-page document, there's a lot of information on compliance. Now, for some of us on the call, we might think, well, compliance sounds boring. Well, it probably does, but I've got to tell you, if we don't have absolutely rock solid compliance, then we haven't got a business. As Mr. Rock says, with good solid compliance, we have security, and with security, we have a solid business. And so when you understand what's going on, and even right at the moment, there's some frustrations with regards to accounts being verified and so forth and so on. And yes, I understand the frustration behind that. In fact, I'm experiencing some of that myself. But you know what? It is a really, really good sign, because it means the company is very serious about ensuring that it is fully compliant with all the regulations and within all the jurisdictions that we are operating. So this whole integration with block creation is going on right now. We're in the middle of it. But our trading platform, which will be linked in totally to that, you can still go and trade on that if you wish to. However, what I should also point out is the trading platform, and indeed our WCX coin, are integral to what we're calling the WCI ecosystem. So what does this all mean? Well, for some of you who have heard me speak before, I speak about a thing called transactionable value. So what does that mean? Well, we know that there's about 1,700 cryptocurrencies listed on coinmarketcap.com, and that's great. And people say, well, why isn't WCX listed on there? I can tell you, quite frankly, at the moment, and I heard this, spoke directly with our lead trader, WCI, WCX has chosen not to list our coin on that list at the moment. Okay, it may well be down the track, but it's been a choice not to do it at the moment. It's not as if we have to be on there. That is purely just a list of cryptocurrencies, some of which have been and gone. But most of them on there are what we might call boutique or very niche type cryptocurrencies that have been created for a very specific purpose. So what does this all to do with transactionable value? As I'm sure everyone on this call would understand, it doesn't matter how good your coin is and all the whatever you might want to promote about it and all the bells and whistles and such like that it may have, if it is of no value, that is, if there's no purpose to it and there's no demand, guess what? There's little or no value. So what the company's doing very cleverly is creating, and this is where the emphasis is, it's creating an ecosystem. Now, an ecosystem involves merchants and people who will take our coin. And I can assure you, with what's going on with blockration and all the platforms that are associated with blockration, and there's a number of them, the digital wallet, the digital platforms associated with that will open up a massive and allow us to develop a massive ecosystem with many, many merchants. In fact, I would suggest hundreds of thousands of merchants. So what happens when you develop an ecosystem that is catering to merchants and people like us, where our own coin, the WCX coin, is integral to it? It will drive the value of our coin. So at the moment, our coin, based upon relative to Bitcoin, is about $1.20 to $1.30 US. If you can imagine, there'll be 31 million of our coins that will be mined. That's the maximum. 11,400,000 odd have already been mined. There is a major emphasis on creating demand for our coin. So I would be strongly encouraging you to hold the coins for now, because once the ecosystem is complete and it starts to mature, which will happen over the next 6 to 12 months, we will see the demand for our coin increase. Now, that's my opinion. I cannot guarantee that or whatever. That is my opinion. But it stands to reason, if you've got something that, it's just like picking up a glass of water an empty glass, and you say, oh, this is a nice glass, it's wonderful, and you can hype it up, but ultimately, and people might want to pay you more and more for it, but ultimately at some point someone says, well, it's just a glass. So if there's no value to it or no purpose or what I call transactionable value, the price drops again. So what the company very cleverly is doing is creating a demand and a need for our coin. And with blockration coming in fact, already there are 125 million users of the blockration services before we even purchased the company. And I would suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, the large percentage of users of our coin and our systems in the future are not going to be WCI members. They're going to be non-members or users. These are going to be people who will be walking around with our MasterCard that may have been given a MasterCard through their company that they work for or an organisation they're involved with. And every time they're using the card, they're getting loyalty points. So there will be a benefit to the user, but there will be an exchange and there'll be benefit in dollar terms flowing up to the people involved in the system. So it's very exciting, and you need to understand. You need to get a picture of the bigger picture with regards to this, because it actually is very much where we're heading. So WCI members will be able to load their WCX coins and fiat money onto the MasterCard. So you'll be able to, your commissions and your daily rewards, load them straight onto your card and then go shopping. And if you attach it to a bank account, or if you don't want a bank account, And there might be some people who have been listening to the Banking Commission here in Australia that decide they don't want to do that, and you want to go to Western Services Union or Western Union and load money straight from an agent like that onto your card, you will be able to do so. And from there, you'll be able to move the card into a WCI account in Bitcoin and purchase packages. So this is going to help us also with people wanting to buy packs. So hopefully you're starting to get a gist of where we're heading. So just a little bit of updates on some things. And I'm again coming back to compliance. No matter how many accounts you have with WCI, each of your accounts need to be verified. And this is good because it's obviously all part of that compliance that I was speaking about earlier. Now, to do that, you go into your back office, go to security, all my accounts, and upload your ID. Now, it'll either be a driver's license, passport, or some other government-backed ID. And you can also, so you do the front and back of that, and then you need to load up a utility bill or something like that, which has your address on it. So it's proof of address. So there's 3 uploads. Now, it should take within 1 to 3 days. Sometimes it can be, I had someone today that actually loaded it up yesterday and it was approved today. I've also got people, I'm aware of people that have been waiting 2 and 3 weeks. And so that which is frustrating because, and you know, it slows everything down. But please understand the company is aware of these issues. I'm liaising with a number of people about this, as I know Mike and Patricia particularly as well for their teams are liaising. So we're all doing the best we can. But understand this is all happening while they're working on the system. So we're building the business and wanting to grow the business while we're actually evolving it, if you like. So it's an interesting time. Okay, so however, if you have a problem with your account and need assistance with your account, what you're meant to do initially is go into your back office and you go to support and you actually sign up for that and you create a support ticket and send it off to support. Now, there's a number of different supports here. This one will go to, I think, America. Now, I've got to say the response that we're getting is not always that quick. Sometimes it's good and quick, other times it's not. But that's just the way it is at the moment. If you don't receive a response in a couple of days, then get a copy of that. There's a reference number associated with that support ticket that you will have created, and send that to support@wcxasia.com with your username and any other relevant information. The more information you give, the easier it is for them. But certainly don't try and make out that it's a you're telling a story, and because they haven't got time to read a big story. So I see Mike sent a ticket today and had a response back in 2 hours. Well done, Mike. It's good to hear those sorts of things. I know that there's also people that have had the opposite. So look, just bear with it. We are working through it. I can assure you, I'm aware that of some of the people in the support offices, and you know, they really are very keen to increase the number of people there because they're working with their backs to the wall. And that's a good thing because they know that the business is growing. But I understand, and we all understand, it can be frustrating. But just understand that this is what's going on, and hopefully we can get things resolved quickly. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick update on some events that are coming up. Now, first of all, before I actually was remiss and forgot to upload there's a special deal that's come out at the minute, and I haven't got a slide here, but I'm going to mention it while I'm thinking about it. There is a promotion running at the minute, which from the 1st of June through to the 31st of August for us here in Australia and New Zealand, whereby when we achieve a rank, we get WCX coins. So if you achieve Ruby, you get 1,000 WCX coins. Emerald is 3,000, Diamond 10,000, Blue Diamond 20,000, and etc., etc. Now, you've got to understand these WCX coins is, if you get the picture of what I was speaking about with this ecosystem, they are going to be like gold. So the more WCX coins that you can acquire and accumulate, the better. Now, with this incentive that's running. There will also be points associated with the annual convention, which we've been hearing about. And I know right at the moment there is meetings going on where, and I'm expecting very soon we'll get an absolute definite on when the convention's going to be. I suspect, in fact, on this note it says that it will be in September, and it's likely to be in a very nice place in Asia. So I don't know any more than that, and if I did know, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you, but I don't know anyway, so I can't say any more than that. But only to say that there will be a convention in September. This incentive that's running up to the end of August will allow you to earn WCX coins and also points towards entry and accommodation for this particular event. And we want to get as many as Australians and New Zealanders to this event as possible, because I just sense that we are on the cusp of something quite extraordinary. Now, aside from that, and coming back to what's going on right now on our home turf, or not, in fact, a little bit further away, there's actually going to be some events in Philippines next week. Now, I didn't put the detail up because I do have a little bit of detail, but they have not yet been confirmed. I didn't want to, they could change, but certainly if you've got people in the Philippines, I understand Cebu and Davao City, there's going to be events, and we'll have that very, very soon. That's between the 12th and 17th of June in the Philippines. Here in Australia, next week, a week tonight, the lovely Patricia Devine, the Ruby executive, will be presenting at the Burleigh Head Surf Club. That's the corner of Goodwood Terrace and the Gold Coast Highway, 7:15 to 7:30. Patricia is just such an enthusiastic and wonderful person in presenting, and anyone on the Gold Coast, I would really encourage you to go along because she's a wonderful leader. She explains things very well, and she just cares for people. So that's next Wednesday night. On the night after, if you're in Melbourne, Mike and Di, that's Mike Chipchase and Di Black, will be hosting an event at 5 Waterford Terrace in Keysborough. Again, extraordinary leaders in our business and real visionaries with what we're doing. And anyone is welcome to go along. If you need their details, contact details, certainly message me. I didn't want to put mobile phones up on here in case. Anyway, you can message me and I will pass on their mobile number if you haven't got it. But anyone's welcome. So that's next week. Right, now this is exciting, as it all is. In fact, I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay, on the 23rd of June. Again, not quite confirmed the venue, but this is going to be happening this date. On this date, we have Joseph Nyong, who's the WCI leader and #1 associate, coming to Australia for the first time. Joseph is the spine behind the field. He is just quite an incredible fellow. He's a Vietnamese gentleman who is an extraordinary leader. He will be coming here in a few weeks. We're doing an event in Melbourne, and I'm just waiting for confirmation, but it should be the Crown Plaza, which is on Spencer Street. And from 2 to 3:30, it probably won't be all that time, but we're allowing that sort of time so that there'll be a presentation where you can invite people along. And if you've got people in Melbourne, please invite them along to this. And even if you can't be there, let me know. I'll be there. Mike, I know, will be there, and Di and others will be there. So let us know, and we'll welcome them for you. And so they can come along, listen to Joseph, and get a vision. And he'll also be talking about the company, where it's going, and a whole range of sorts of things like that. And also give some information about the company and how it operates and how it works and how people make money. And then from 5 to 6:30, we have a bit of a gap. There'll be some training, which is for members only. So if you've got a guest, unless they join up within the hour or so, they won't be allowed entry. So we're just doing it for members only. So that's Saturday the 23rd of June at the Crown Plaza in Melbourne. Again, just stay tuned on that. I've got to get that confirmed. It's likely, but I just don't have the absolute on that as I speak today. The day after, we will be in The Gold Coast, again, with the Crown Plaza on Surfers Paradise. And same scenario, except a little bit earlier, 1 o'clock to 2:30, WCI members and guests, and then from training from 4 to 5:30. And Joseph and myself will be at both of those events. Mike and Di will be in Melbourne, and Patricia will be on the Gold Coast. So if you've got people in any of those places, please get them to come along. It's really important because some people don't always see it until, as we know, until you get there and you actually start to see the vision, and you'll get a sense. Joseph's only a little fellow. He's quite extraordinary, and he's an amazing man, and I think you'll be quite enthralled with him and with his vision, with what he's got planned and what he's doing with the business. I will be running some meetings finally in New Zealand, and again, apologies for our New Zealand friends, but this is what we're doing. I will be going to New Zealand straight after from the Gold Coast, presenting in Wellington. We're just firming up the venue, but it will be in Wellington on the 26th of June, 7:15 for 7:30, and then the next night, the 27th, in Auckland. So we were just going to be doing one, but we're going to do 2 events in New Zealand at the end of the month. And if you've got people in New Zealand, get them along. Well, I know there's no venue yet, but let them know about the dates, and we will get the information out ASAP about what the venue is going to be. Everyone is invited, doesn't matter what teams you're in. This is all public events, that we just want people to come along. And if you can let me know, or if you're part of Patricia's team or Mike's team, if you let them know, and they'll let me know, so I know who's coming, and I'll make sure they're made to feel welcome. So very, very exciting, because we're at as I say, we're at the cusp of something really that I think is going to be quite amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, just in closing, I'd have to say that there is a lot happening right at the minute, and I expect that we'll get some announcements over the next 7 to 10 days from the company. We are pioneers of a pioneering company, pioneers in a pioneering company. And, things don't always go to exactly as we wish them to be, because that's how it is. And in fact, if people want perfect, well, come back in 1 or 2 years, and even then it won't be perfect. It never is. But we're at a moment in time where we know what's going on with cryptocurrency, and whether people understand or not, it's actually, cryptocurrency is the key, but the real key is blockchain. It's the technology behind it, and it is an absolute game changer. It's the disruptive technology. And what Blockration WCI and Blockration are doing, and all that goes with it, it's to do with the blockchain. So this is very, very exciting. I spent some time, as I said, with the Blockration guys in India, and they've got some amazing stuff organised with where this is going. So we really are in a very, very good position. So just have faith and belief, and we're doing everything we can to get the information to you as soon as it becomes available. But certainly, it's very, very exciting. So we've got these events coming up, and then there will be an annual event in September somewhere in Asia. I think probably Thailand. I can't confirm that, but probably Thailand. And we want to get as many Australians and New Zealanders there as well, joining all the others that will be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that has made some sense. I've recorded this, even though the first part of it I was speaking to myself only. But that's what you do, and it's part of being live, isn't it, really? But we are a community, we're a team. One thing I should just say is, in finishing, if you do have people in other countries, then our company is introducing a program called the Mapping or Matching Program, whereby if you've got someone who is a prospect and who you sponsor and who comes into the system, who's in another country, it's very difficult to look after them. So the company's come up with a mapping program whereby you sign an agreement, and the company's devised this, and you effectively share in the commission and the points with a leader in the respective country who looks after your person and trains them and loves them and does all the things they need to do. Now more of that is coming out soon. You'll hear more about that. But I think it's a brilliant idea because it means that we can create alliances around the world and build a global business, and knowing full well that we've got people helping us, and vice versa. So if someone comes into Australia and you get connected up, you can be working with someone else's person who's in their team that's being rewarded financially for it. So there's lots happening. It's exciting times, and I trust that this will hopefully help inspire you. And I'll do another update next month. And again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on. I do appreciate your time. I trust that makes helps give you some sort of sense of what's going on and where we're heading. So, ladies and gentlemen, lovely to spend time with you. Good evening.